Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Talking Snacks, a gaming podcast starring yours truly and joined by...
Hey, I'm Cuff. I'm here to help with the podcast. I know a thing or two about games, I would like to think.
We actually, we're part of the old YouTube collective, as I like to call ourselves, Barely Average. I guess that's just sitting in limbo for now. But we figured we could spend 30 or so minutes talking to you about games and such, and guess we'll just dive right into it with our first topic.
The Xbox Game Pass has been blowing up here lately. Like, I can't even start Xbox without it plastered over 5 different tabs.
Well, they got to make that money.
They do have to make that money, for sure, but why has this never been a thing that I knew about until recently? Like, sure, you know, it goes hand in hand with the Gears 5 thing, which is, I'm sure, like what most people are hyped for, getting it 4 days early and everything, but the fucking thing's got, like, so many good games on it, and it's $15 a month. You get literally almost 100, 200 games. You can just download and install right away, play it, nothing, that's it.
I don't know if it was an advertisement fail, but one of our friends, he actually didn't understand that you could download the games. He thought it was like PlayStation Now.
Oh, where they get streamed?
Yeah, he thought there was going to be, you know, lag and all that kind of stuff, you know, depending.
Nope. You pick a game, you install it, and you're good to go. As long as you got space on your hard drive, it is a game that you quote unquote own.
Yeah, as long as you pay that sub.
Yeah, true.
But being on PC, just fresh start for my PC, it has been heaven. I think I paid $2 for the first month, and I'm in love. Coming straight from a Sony fan base for years.
I don't know why they don't have anything like that on Sony's end, as far as I know, aside from, you know, was it the View?
Now.
The PlayStation Now.
Yeah,
I've never even tried it.
It's not bad as long as our internet would definitely run it well.
But
I've dabbled in it.
I've told you this before. The Game Pass isn't anything new, but when they first introduced it, like, I don't know, like a year or two ago, I seen it on the store, and they were doing like a free month trial, 2-week trial, something like that. And the only reason I downloaded it was because it had backwards compatible games on there. Most, like, the big one for me was Resident Evil 4. I was like, oh, I haven't played through that in a minute. I guess I can play through that again for the 50th time. And so I downloaded the game, and was like, that's a pretty cool thing. I got a little backwards compatibility thing. I never really gave it much thought. Didn't do any more research into it, and now here we are. We got, like, literally hundreds of AAA games that you can just, like, straight up download just from the click of a button. Just a little subscription.
It's very impressive.
It's mind-blowingly impressive.
I mean, the money is really what I think is... Where the fuck are they getting funding for this? I know it's Microsoft, and they have to be losing money somewhere around the corner. I mean, because I think they just dropped Devil May Cry 5.
They're probably banking on the fact that people will forget about the $2 thing. Would be my guess. Because, you know...
It's only still $15 a month.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are doing the 2 month, or the $2 for the 2 month thing, and then, you know, rolling over into that second month, the third month, however it works. It's like, bam, there's like $15 coming in for however many hundred thousands of people, you know, forget to re-up on it, or, you know, cancel their subscription. But honestly, besides that, I don't know why you would want to cancel it, because it's a really good fucking deal. Like, it's pretty much GameFly, where you can play
at your
whatever.
Fingertips.
Yeah, at your fingertips. Where you don't have to wait for mail. You don't have to wait for backlog games. You can literally just pick a game, play it. If you don't like it, uninstall it. You ain't got to worry about getting a refund, putting it back in the mail, none of that. Fighting with Steam to get your
actually Steam's been pretty nice to me. Actually,
I mean, they do their job, I guess.
Like I said, coming from a fresh PC with nothing to play, $2. I fell pretty heavily into Gears of War, which you was a part of. The ability to actually play with Xbox players was really, really fucking cool.
Still something else that maybe Sony would want to...
Yeah, I don't see why there's not a PlayStation app where I could...
Well, you know, Microsoft is computers, so I guess it would only make sense that they're...
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and boot up my Ubuntu Linux and just run my maybe they'll partner with Linux somewhere down the line.
Maybe.
But the fact that brand new games are hitting like day one We know we got Gears coming up, which we'll talk about in a minute. The Blair Witch Project, or just called Blair Witch, I believe. But it just dropped. Your first impressions? We actually played it the other day.
We played it. We played it here, and normally I'm not too much for horror games because they tend to be the same kind of thing. They've been that way for a while. I think Amnesia was like the main culprit of that. I don't know if you remember it years ago.
I loved Amnesia. It was really
well.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dissing Amnesia, but everybody followed that same sort of path, where it's just like you go down a thing. It's a walking simulator. Here's a piece of plot. Oh, there's an unkillable monster. You have to hide from the monster. There's a sanity meter. You have to get to the next plot. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but after you do it so much, it kind of gets stale. So I don't know. We downloaded the Blair Witch thing, gave it a shot, and right from the get-go, I had my doubts. Walking simulator. What's the little trope they're gonna throw in? But what do we play, like maybe 2 hours worth of it?
It seemed like a decent amount. I think we did get lost. I wouldn't say lost. We forgot about the game telling us the camera mechanic. We ran around in circles until we remembered that the camera was.
We literally ran around in circles, which I think at first I thought it was just part of the game.
Yeah. I thought it was going to keep unlocking paths.
Yeah.
And it was all because your guy, he had different dialogues for each time you make a new circle. So it seemed like what you were supposed to do, but it seems like they accounted for that as well.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, by the way. If you have any inclination to play Blair Witch, it's on the Game Pass for quote-unquote free as long as you have the subscription.
Yeah, and if you've never tried it, $2 I believe was what I paid.
I would highly suggest playing it if you're a fan of that kind of horror genre thing, or even if you like the movies. There's like a game adaptation of it. Definitely avoid the next little bit of this podcast if you want to avoid spoilers, but now that we got that warning out of the way,
it's not a very long game.
It is not long. It's only 13 gigs, so there's only so much you can do with it. But like the day after we played it here, me and Colby played it through the whole thing at our house, which like only took about 4 hours. Once you figure out what the mechanics are, the puzzles the puzzles aren't hard. They pretty much hold your hand through them. It's all about the camera and manipulating the tapes, which is a cool mechanic. But at first, it wasn't scary until about halfway through. If you've seen the Blair Witch movies, there's the camcorder thing. Everything's POV shot, shaky cam. That kind of becomes a main mechanic about halfway through the game, where there's certain monsters you can only see through the camera, and later on you have to avoid them altogether because your flashlight will startle them and draw them towards you, so you have to use the camera to see where they're at, and then walk along in darkness while they do their monster growls, which we didn't have headphones on, but that would be just straight.
Yeah, I was wondering how
nerve-wracking
your setup was. I didn't know if you was playing with headphones. I'm not too keen on the horror games myself, so I don't know how well I would fare, alone in the dark with headphones on. That was actually my plan day one, was to do a stream reaction, but with what I've been actually trying to get done with the other videos, I've had my weekend kind of taken up. Not being a quote professional at editing and literally just diving into this
you'll get the hang of it.
It's been a nightmare.
But backpedaling a bit, the one thing I did like about the Blair Witch game, probably its main selling point, was definitely the ambiance and the atmosphere of that game. It is not a jump scary game by any means, so if you have a fear of jump scares, it's definitely more like along the lines of like Evil Within, where the atmosphere and the environment you're in is just eerie, to say the least. You don't have to worry about walk here, go there, inspect this, bam, there's a jump scare, you have a heart attack.
The game itself actually, does the scaring as opposed to using cheap thrills and immediate, reactions. So,
and I mean, that's why I haven't played horror games forever, because it seemed like they either fell in those two categories. Was either like the jump scary Five Nights at Freddy's type things, or like the slowly walk down a hall PT type Amnesia deals, where it's not quote unquote scary, it's just eerie. But I definitely if I had to pick one, I would definitely go for the latter, because there's a bit of storytelling that goes with those, whereas with the jump scare things, that's all it is a jump scare simulator. You just hit a mark, you shit your pants for a second, you get your ears blown out if you're wearing headphones, and then you just keep going.
But I remember while we played that short amount of time, the dialogue, just the character talking through the radio back and forth, it always made it seem like something sketchy was going on. You didn't...
Oh yeah, they did set up the story masterfully. Like, as soon as you arrive on the scene, your main guy is looking for a missing persons report. He radios in on a walkie-talkie, and just in like 3 or 4 dialogue exchanges, it just sets up all this vague material that's like, damn, should this guy really be here? He's got a medical condition? Wait, what? He's somehow involved with the missing kid's older brother? What's up with that? There's, and then they kind of explain that piece by piece later on, till eventually you hit a point where it's like, bam, this dude is in some shit. Like, he has done some stuff. Why is he here? He's got PTSD. He's got some kind of psychological neurosis. Like, he should not be wandering around in cursed woods. But, if he didn't, you wouldn't have an horror game, right? So
Yeah.
There's that.
Well, that also being on the Game Pass, we have a fairly big release coming up. I think it actually comes out earlier for Game Pass owners. Gears 5.
Yeah, that is a marketing wet dream right there.
Yeah, I don't understand how... I don't get it. I don't get where the money's going, where anything's going or coming from. They're just going to put all their sales faith into a subscription model with 100 other games on it.
Well, here's the thing, right? I mean...
If you don't want it, you can go buy it, I guess, but shit, like I said, for my $2, I'm going to get the game... I think it's Friday, but it doesn't come out technically till like next Tuesday.
Technically it doesn't come out the 10th, Tuesday, but we get it Friday, the 6th. And I got my dates mixed up, and I was very disappointed because I woke up today, we're filming this on the 2nd. For some reason I thought it came out Friday, we got it 4 days early on today, but whatever. I can wait 4 more days for an early
I mean, we could be right.
Yep.
It's the brilliance of Game Pass. I just boot it up every day and there's something new.
Something else
new. Like what was it? Wolfenstein. I don't know if it was the new one or... It doesn't matter. I just loaded it up and here's a game you haven't played. I'm like, okay, cool. $2 get you this far. But I haven't actually played a Gears game in a while, like I stated earlier. I've been on the Sony forefront for a while. So I'm going to be a little bit lost when it comes story-wise. I played Gears 1 and 2 back in the day, so I did skip 3. I'm playing through 4 right now on Game Pass. Having a blast, especially multiplayer with you guys. Love the good old chainsaw and bloody goriness. It's
Gears multiplayer is just one of those solid fucking experiences.
It's like a cover-based arena shooter, right? There's weapon drops.
I mean, it's just...
You race to get the good ones, and... You don't need them if you're good enough.
You don't need them if you're good enough. You definitely have a Gnasher and a Lancer will get the job done, no doubt. It's not like an instant win button if you get like a boom shot or something. But yeah, solid foundation. I mean, they've been doing it since Gears 1, so they've got it down pat. And the mechanics are solid and the cover's solid. Everything's kind of evenly distributed. I think it's at a good point, better than it's ever been in the series, because I remember the Gears 1, 2, 3 days, it seemed like there were patches every other week of just like, the Gnasher's not strong enough now, it's too strong, the Lancer's doing too much, the Hammer Burst is OP.
It seems like they just committed with the Gnasher now. Mm-hmm. The Gnasher's it's overpowered as shit. It's literally the only gun you need.
It can be. It can be overpowered if you know what you're doing with it. If you don't know how to counter it, that's the main thing, which is why you'll see, like, me and Jake like to play the long game of, like, we've, not to brag or anything, but we're kind of seasoned Gears vets. We know that 90% of the Gears community either shoddy rushes or wall bounces your way up to you to get within shotgunning distance. So you do have to kind of manipulate that cover a bit, use your angles, pin a guy down, flank. But if you're not into that, there's always a shotgun. I mean, sometimes I'll whip that out just to change the pace up a little bit, get the job done, no big deal. Not to go back or anything, but I really think, just based off the Gears of War 4 system, they're probably going to make a lot of their money back from the Gears of War 5 like marketplace loot box.
Yeah, I did see that while I've been playing. Coming from 2, where it's been a good minute since I've been anywhere near a Gears game, but seeing all the stuff in there, as long as it's skin related and customization related, it's fine. but it does get to a point to where if you want to own a lot of it, you're looking at spending 3 or 4 times the amount of the actual game itself. But that's just the time we live in now.
That's the unfortunate model that
you gotta pick what skins you want and commit, or get a hold of mommy daddy's credit card. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's always like I can't help but wonder especially with like you said, the age we live in, where you have a game and then you have all the DLCs and cosmetics and stuff. How much better or how much more quality would the game be if they got rid of the cosmetics and stuff and all that add-ons and just focused on the main game? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like, it's kind of like a double-edged sword a bit, where it's like, we have a full release game with multiplayer and hand-in-hand and horde and co-op and all this stuff. But on the flip side, let's make extra money by introducing add-ons, and that's you got to pay the artists to do that, implement that. You have to get cameos. I know they got like the Terminator things. That's probably some royalties involved there.
I just wonder if our boys are coming. They're gonna make their ways back.
Run the Jules people back. I don't know. I mean, probably
they need to at least port the skins over, make them compatible. That's one thing I don't like is buying something for a game that's essentially the same mechanics, same everything, and then you buy a new game and you reset your marketplace, I guess, if you will. It's a whole new thing. You can spend the same amount of money over again just to have what would essentially be the same content.
I would hope and pray that they carry your cosmetics over, if that's a thing, because that would be kind of a shaft move to just be like, hey, here's a new game, new cosmetics. Oh, you have that skin? You want to keep that skin? Just buy it again. Pray. Break down those things, get your scrap, build it up again.
And the one other thing that I don't like about shit like that is it separates player bases.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it goes like towards the end of the game's life cycle. I feel bad for the people that actually bought all the DLC up front, and then towards the end of the game's life cycle, you're really at wit's end when it comes to player count, because you have a lot of people that actually own the game, and maybe 1 or 2 people that bought map pack 1 or 2, but how many of them actually own the entire map packs, and so you're kind of losing like a big player base. You're not losing them, but you're splitting them, and really only the players suffer. Especially like when you guys were playing Gears with me the other day, you're like, oh, who doesn't have the new stuff? And I'm like, well, I got this through Game Pass, and I looked up all the maps, and Gears 5 is about to roll out for free for me, but still, the map packs in its entirety was like $50.
Well, I mean, the game's been out a while.
I know, but why is the map still $50? Like,
I mean, yeah, that is a good question, though.
Like, I wanted to, get the stuff to appease you guys, and let's do the newer maps and stuff, and plus, after running a couple matches, you do start seeing there's not a lot.
Yeah, you kind
of the base maps there's not that many, so...
Yeah, and plus, everybody votes for the most popular maps. Like,
always Gridlock.
There's still maps on there, because I didn't play much of the multiplayer when the game came out, but we've been kind of going through a resurgence of it. But there are still maps that I haven't even played on yet. It's basically just Gears 1, 2, 3 maps. I know those like the back of my hand.
Yeah, I love those. I love Security. I love Gridlock, and was it Mansion?
Mansion's a good one.
Oh man,
War Machine, all those classics.
Just the ones from my 360 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we're moving right along to a couple more releases that are coming out this week. Something I was very, very excited for. E3 happened not too long ago, a month or 2 ago. Final Fantasy VIII. I was praying that it even got its little glimmer, just showed on the screen, and goddamn if we're not getting a port of Final Fantasy VIII for everything here in about a week. How do you feel?
I didn't play it. I know it's close to a lot of people's hearts, so I mean, more power to them. That's pretty great. You can see our boy Leon go back in action again.
Leon, Squall, whatever you want to call him.
His name, right? Leon? He was in Kingdom Hearts, right?
I think that's what they called him in that, but he's Squall.
That came out before Final Fantasy VIII, right? That's how that works? He was Leon, and they changed his name to Squall?
No, he was Squall in the...
I know.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you just fucking with me. Nice. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. I have it on original PS1 discs. I actually have it on my Vita.
Are you going to buy the physical release of this game?
Yeah. It was about a week ago they finally announced that there is not going to be a physical release. There was rumors and all this other stuff, and I was super excited. I was probably going to get it on my Switch for the physical release. You know, it seems like a perfect game. But now that it's not physical, I'll probably just grab it on Steam. Actually, we'll probably stream it. So shameless plug there.
Where can we catch your stream at?
Oh, you know, twitch.tv/Sir Snacks.
Oh, man. Can I comment on things and interact with the guy streaming?
You absolutely can.
Do you have a Twitter that I can follow?
I absolutely do. Look at me getting my words all mixed up. It's @_snacks.
Damn.
Sir Snacks. Don't even know my Twitter plug. @Sir_snack.
Damn. What if I don't do Twitter? Is there a Facebook page I can
There
get to?
actually is a Facebook page. I'm getting all this shit started up. Just Sir Snack, @Sir Snack, all one word for Facebook. @Sir_snack for Twitter. And Sir Snack, one word for Twitch.
If I was a guy that was awesome, I would probably follow all those things. And like and subscribe.
You're doing my shameless plug. You're doing it for me here.
No, it just seems like quality content that's unhindered by YouTube algorithms, so you don't have to worry about shit.
I planned on getting them on YouTube, but I don't know how. I don't know. I have music that I want to put in them, and I know YouTube and copyright and stuff, so I'm staying away from YouTube right now. Would love to see some YouTube, money, but we got to get some more content out, which is why we're doing stuff like this, trying to just get our bases covered before we actually just go to the mainstream, if you will. But yeah, you can probably catch me sometime next week playing some Final Fantasy VIII up on the old Twitch. Can't wait to get my.
That's a big time commitment. What kind of playthrough are you gonna do?
It's gonna be a long play, probably. It'll be.
No, I mean, are you gonna go for like 100% right off the bat? All
Oh
secret bosses?
No. It's just gonna be
Casual-
one long
casual
play,
playthrough.
casual playthrough. Just get to the end.
Then go back and do all this stuff.
I doubt it. I've never been one, especially in Final Fantasy games. To
There's
do all that,
a lot
because there's just too much. Yeah, I would much rather just enjoy the game for what it is. If I want to, I can. But the only game I really ever did that for was Final Fantasy VII. I beat Ruby and Emerald, and I can't remember. I think there's one more, or maybe I can't remember. It's been fucking years ago. I got the memory card. It's in there. I saved it.
I've hit the same kind of wall with 9. I quote unquote recently started playing through that. It's been off and on with releases coming out. I'll pick those up, play those, and then when I've got nothing else to do, I'll go back to 9, which I'm enjoying. It's great and everything, but I've hit that kind of wall where it's disc 4 content. The world's open. You got the airship. You can go anywhere you want, and so it's like, let's go do all the side quests. And then you find out that, like some of those side quests you have to do shit on disc 2 before you can do, the lead up to something else.
That's awful.
Yeah. And I just don't have that kind of time commitment, especially with like
a 20-year-old game.
A 20-year-old game. I mean, it's great, 20-year-old HD remake. Don't get me wrong. It looks great. But like the secret boss in that game in particular, you have to be like fucking level 99, have a particular setup. Certain party members have to have certain weapons, certain skills that they can only unlock.
That's every Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it's a nightmare, really.
Yeah, it can be. But so I'll probably just do like a casual play. I mean, I'm already basically at the end of the game. I'll probably just beat it. And if I ever somehow have time to go back and do a 100% thing, get all the triple triad, or not triple triad, what's it called in that game? Fuck. I can't remember it now. The cards in that game, maybe, but it's unlikely. I've been down that road before with Tales of Vesperia, actually, which I loved. Beat it, and I was like, I'm going to do a 100% playthrough. I'm going to 1K, back on 360 days, I'm going to get all 1,000 gamer score. And Tales of Vesperia had the walkthrough. That lasted about a month. And I was like, this is just too much. These JRPGs are insane with their...
They ask content. A lot of you as a player.
They really do. Especially that, like, most of the stuff comes down to grinding. Like, you will literally spend just 10 hours grinding one particular area to get the most XP for the most, amount of, or the least amount of time. And at that point, you're not even playing a game anymore. You're
living a life.
Yeah, you're just wasting time. Which, I mean, some people would argue that games are a waste of time, but you're not even enjoying the game.
Yeah, that's kind of where we got Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm.
I put my girlfriend on 14, and now I'm a huge piece of trash because she's still playing But, it took us, 2 weeks to burn through
Yeah.
Shadowbringers and even maybe...
Which was dope.
It was.
I mean,
it was fantastic, but it's just that MMO lifestyle where, you wait for content, you fucking beat the shit out of it, and then there's nothing really else to do until, a new patch in 3 months.
New patch comes out, or they lengthen the main story quest, which right now is the raid stuff.
Savages.
Or savages and everything. I don't know if that has to do with the main story quest, but...
No.
Okay, wow.
So they probably haven't added a new main story, but I'm going to throw this out there. It's about 900 degrees in here. My AC actually quit working, so we're dying.
That blows, man.
Yeah, thanks for the pun. But we're actually dying right now, so we're going to take this time to let you hear a word from our sponsors. Thank you for those kind words and that sweet, sweet money.
Oh, we're back from our sponsor. You can buy your local air conditioner at anywhere that sells air conditioners.
Lowe's. Walmart.
Home Depot, if you're one of those people. Probably a Kroger. Maybe. In-N-Out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out to air conditioning.
Anyway, a couple more games we got, coming out this week for you before we actually hit the old dusty trail. Monster Hunter Iceborne, the first big expansion for Monster Hunter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. This is the big one. It's a little late to the scene for me. I probably will not pick it up. I know there's still diehard Monster Hunter people out there, which more power to them. But I went through my Monster Hunter World phase, and it lasted for a good minute.
January of last year, was it not?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mainly remember I played on both PlayStation and Xbox because it's got different friends on each console. So I played through World twice, basically in its entirety, if you can call it that. Once you hit the end game, that's where the game begins, if you will. You got to grind certain monsters, get their pieces, get their parts, and that's all RNG based. So you end up fighting the same thing maybe 10 times to get the horn or the scale, or
and then move up to stronger monsters.
And then you move up to stronger monsters.
Sounds kind of like an MMO.
A little bit. It's more RPG-ish than MMO, I would say. Just because there's not 30 people running around, but it's definitely fun. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent months on it. But I don't know too much on Iceborne. I know it's introducing new monsters, new story, new grinding. Basically, that's basically what Monster Hunter is. But I'm sure it'll be right on the money if you're into that kind of thing. Because I know I was. Even I picked up weapons I didn't even think I would use just so I could have any kind of advantage I could against Nier Gigante Plus and all the crazy ass in-game monsters that.
Which one made its way to 14? Do you know?
What do you mean?
It's the they did the cross event.
Yeah, when they did the Final Fantasy 14 crossover was the Rathalos, which is the stereotypical red dragon looking thing with a big poison tail.
Sounds good for mechanics.
It was something. I didn't do the crossover in Monster Hunter World, but I did do it a little bit in Final Fantasy 14, and the fight was neat. It was unlike any other fight where it's not like a boss with, tank mechanics, DPS mechanics. You literally just smack it until it dies and have to dodge things, which was cool. But I never did any of the crossovers in Monster Hunter World. I literally that was the only game in my console for probably 3 months, now that I think about it. And eventually you just hit a point where you're like, I've got everything. I don't need anything. Unless I'm just playing to play. All my friends had all their stuff, so... Then we played the next game that came out, which probably was Forsaken, if I'm not mistaken. Rhymes. But yeah, it had a long lifespan. Probably one of the longest in recent years of just straight up playing the same game.
I never picked it up. I've seen you guys playing it a lot. It's just... I don't know what I was playing at the time, but I was... into something. I remember it, and I was just like, that's going to be a whole nother grind, because the way you guys talked about it, and I wasn't going to fall into that, but we figured we'd list it here for those Monster Hunter fans out here. Mm-hmm. This one isn't coming out this week, but it's actually on our radar just due to sheer excitement, so we figured we'd throw a shout out to Borderlands 3.
Yeah, that is one I am most hyped for, no doubt.
Now, if you can hear my defense dog in the background, please just
He's doing his job.
Yeah, he's doing his job.
He's barking at things as dogs.
That's what he does, at whatever time this is. But yeah, everybody seems to be really excited for Borderlands 3. It's been quite some time since
I don't even know
the release date.
Yeah, I don't even know the release date of Borderlands 2, but that is definitely a game I've played through more than once easily. And so I've seen the trailers for Borderlands 3, the character trailers, the E3 stuff. Definitely hype for that. Everything they've done to it looks just hype. They have loot sharing, level syncing. That's
the one that has that weird streaming thing too, right?
What's that?
There's some like stream mechanics to where if you're watching a player stream and you have your account tied into the stream, you can pick up loot that he's like getting out of a loot box.
Yeah, no, they have a thing where like
that's super crazy. What a time!
It's great. I don't know why it hasn't been implemented before, but it's just quality of life things. But like that, so that's definitely cool because you always have that one part, and if you played Borderlands 1 or 2, like you'll know what I'm talking about, where you fight a boss or something, or an enemy drops an orange weapon or a rare weapon or a pearlescent weapon, whatever. Insert weapon here, and you're like, oh, who's picking that up? Who wants that? Or whoever gets to it just snatches it up without even letting anybody else look at it. Now they've got the thing where you kill a monster or you kill an enemy, or you open up a loot chest. Now everybody sees that same thing on their screen, so everybody can pick up the same gun. With like variables included in it. It's the same gun.
But the fact that works through just watching a stream is wild. You don't even have to be in their game.
What do you mean through a stream?
Like it has a stream mechanic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if you're watching them through, this was something they promoted before. I'm hoping it's still going to be in there, but yeah, if a loot thing drops in their game and you're watching their stream and your stream is tied to your account, you can pick up that weapon or somehow nab that weapon.
That is a wild mechanic. Actually, it kind of goes hand in hand with their new story in Borderlands 3. Was like, Gearbox Borderlands series has always been very self-aware, very meme-ish in a way with their content. So like, Borderlands 3, the whole story is like the bad guys are streamers. So they're very much attacking like that stream culture of like, people always just putting self-promoting, doing plugs, shout out to this person, follow here, oh, resub. So I'm very excited to see how that will be because stream culture is something.
That's why I'm trying to hop on that bandwagon. I might be a little late, but we'll see. With my shameless plugs from earlier and the content I'm trying to drive out.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll make a name for myself some fucking where. You want to give a shout out to fucking Mothra?
Where
I don't have AC, I have a fan that I have off for this, for this podcast. Man, there is I guess it's a grasshopper, but he is.
There is a grasshopper that's currently plastered on our TV in here, and he is just chilling.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker has got to be at least 5 inches long, and his antennas make him at least like 8 inches long. And
he's pretty big. He's pretty big.
He is pretty big, and he just jumped a minute ago and scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I tried not to laugh. You probably heard it, but I guess that's gonna wrap it up for us. We did a cool 33 minutes. It's pretty good for a return to form.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that actually tuned in. I'll have links to all of my social media below. Do you want to get in on this, or
nope?
No plugs for you. So it'll just be me, but I'll have all my stuff below. I had shameless plugs earlier, and thanks for tuning in to the first ever Talking Snacks.